Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got something a bit different. I'm going to be telling you guys the story of the 2018 Brisbane Street Jam and my trip there with Jana and Cameron and how I stacked. There's a lot of wind, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and let that pass. But yeah, basically it's going to be the story of how I stacked and face planted at the Brisbane Street Jam in 2018. But first, as I'm down at the skate park right now, I'm going to get some warm-up clips before we get into the story. So yeah, you'll see them now. Who's this? Who's this falling off? Yo.
It's 30 degrees out here. This means it's skate park.
I forgot to mention that it's really hot. It's why I'm in shorts.
Hottest day of the year. What do you mean? Oh, in exam. I thought you meant the actual.
Alright guys, so I'm back from the skate park now and it's time to get into the story of what happened in Brisbane, which is, I'm sure why you're here because it's the title of the video. Yeah, let's get into it. So in 2018, myself, Janda and Cameron, which you should know if you've been on the channel for a while, good friends of mine, we went up to Brisbane for the Street Jam, which is hosted by Syndicate Street Store, or just Syndicate Store now I believe. So yeah, we got a plane up there and we stayed at Kangaroo Point, a hotel there, which is just near the city, it's not too far out, and we were staying near like a IGA and a Macca's and everything, so it was pretty good. We were near food. It was first time I think any of us had really been away on a trip without parents or anything, just ourselves. It was pretty fun. 15-minute ride from Cooperoo Skate Park as well, which is a lovely little skate park up there. I'd recommend checking it out if you're in the area. So the first part of the trip was just getting to know the area, getting to know the city, going to the skate park, just having fun exploring. So on the day of the Street Jam, we got up, got ready, left to go to Paddington pretty early, because we wanted to get there early so we can get an actual riding, because we didn't know how much of a ride we'd get throughout the day. Since there was a Street Jam going on, we thought we'd mainly be watching people throw down some stuff. So we got to Paddington early, had a good ride for like an hour or so. And just before the Syndicate people were ready to show up, I think that they showed up like 10 minutes after we left. So we left and went to the first spot, and on the way to the first spot, we came across a person holding like a big news camera. We're pretty sure it was like a reporter and a camera person. So they actually asked us if we knew where the Street Jam was starting, or if that's where we were going. We told him it was further down the street in the opposite direction, trying to throw him off, because I think it might have been the year before that, there was a lot of bad press because of Jacked Out at the Street Jam, and yeah, if you know about that, you know. He got arrested and it was just all in the news, and then kept heading to the spot. When we got to the spot, we saw about like 3 cop cars just driving around up and down the street, just checking it out. So I think they definitely knew where it was. Pretty red hot. That's how I knew it was kind of going to be an interesting day, a big day, because there's already the police out here to watch. And then when we saw everyone pull up from the street jam from Paddington, there was just so many people, because Paddington was getting too packed to ride, which is, you know, why we left in the first place to go to the spot. First spot was like this 2-stair manual pad thing, and at the end of it, so there's 2-stair manual pad drop off, 2-stair, and at the end of it there was like a 4 or 5-stair. So everyone was sessioning that, having a pretty good sesh. It was going down. And then someone asked Regan or someone if they can hit the rails in the area just across, like it wasn't too far away. And Regan, I believe, said yes. So then the whole jam pretty much moved over there. Everyone was hitting the rails. It was going good. I got a front 5-0 down the rail and through the kink, but like my back foot was off, but I still got it. And then a suicide no-hander down the stairs, so like a no-hander without the tuck. And I failed a double throw bar down the stairs and stacked. And then, yeah, people were just throwing down at that spot, like Alex Woodbridge, Lil Zayden, Zayden White, that's his name. There's a few other people there throwing down. After that, we all rode as a group to the next spot. And that's like my first time seeing anything like that, like a whole group of scooter riders riding through the city all together, going to do one thing, just go ride this spot. And it's just very cool vibes, very cool to be a part of for the first time and experience it. Once we got to the second spot, people were throwing down again. Everything was going pretty smoothly, except for the actual ledge we're riding itself, which wasn't very smooth. It's like a chunky, chunked out ledge. It was concrete. It slid alright because it was pretty slippery, but it was just very chunked, so you could catch on a bit that went in very easily. So it was very scary and intimidating for me, but people were throwing down nonetheless, and there was like a little 3-block next to it, which is what the outledge was over. So yeah, that spot was alright, and then from there they had a half-an-hour break where you can go get lunch, a drink, you know, eat, refresh yourself, and then everyone meets up at Kangaroo Point, a spot there, which was very close to our hotel. So I believe 1 or 2 of us went back to the hotel, got a drink from there, and then also went and got food from Macca's, which is just near our hotel. So it's good that we knew the area then. And then we got back to the spot, and just seeing all the scooter riders across the street, or like going to get other food at a different place, or just like all coming back but not in the same group. It was pretty cool because it was kind of split, but there's so many scooter riders everywhere, so that was pretty cool as well. That's what I love about these street jams, is there's so many people out doing the same thing. It's very cool. The next spot was like a ledge with another ledge on top. It wasn't the greatest, but people were still, you know, doing some pretty cool stuff on it. So, but after a bit, it moved on to the 2 3-blocks there and the 4-block at the end. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's very gnarly because the last set at the end itself is pretty big, the 4-block, but just the fact that you have to jump down 2 3-blocks beforehand in the run-up to get to that big 4-block is just, yeah, it just makes it so much more intimidating and scary to go for. So people were like, you know, people were going at it, throwing down, so I decided to jump into action, and I jumped it like once or twice, and then I went up and tried a back 180 down the 4-block at the end, just to fakie, and I landed kind of sideways and my whole wheel like chunked or dehubbed, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember which one it was, but I couldn't ride with that wheel anymore after. So someone there was like kind enough to offer me a wheel. I don't know who it was, but they had one spare, offered it to me. So I put it on and bang, good to go. I didn't ride anymore at that spot, and from that point I was kind of thinking like, you know, I can't be bothered, the day's over, like I'm just gonna chill for the rest of it and watch. I've done what I need to do, you know. So as I was there just like chilling, Alex Woodbridge, he was throwing down. It's like the first day I'd ever heard of this guy, but he was throwing down the rest of the day as well at the jam. At these blocks, he tried to jump 2 of the blocks at once, and his attempts were pretty legit, like pretty solid attempts. Almost got it. Like he landed, but then poop shooted down the last step and didn't, you know, make the last set. So if he did, I reckon it would have been more legit and counted more, but like regardless, that's fucked. The effort, no, gnarly, like props for that. always. After that, we travelled to the last spot as a group, which was so sick again. The last spot was in Botanical Gardens, and it was the 14 stair rail. The Botanical Gardens is beautiful, one of my favourite places in Brisbane. One, because the rail's there. Two, it's just so, you know, open, big. It's a lot smaller than Melbourne's, but it's a lot more like accessible, because Melbourne's you get lost, you don't know what you're doing. It's too big, but it's like you can spend a lot more time there. But this one's very nice. And the 14 stair rail in there, it's pretty famous in like Aussie skateboard culture, scooter culture, probably BMX culture too, I don't really know. But it's like a pretty known rail. So I was like very hyped to be there and see that rail in person. And when we first got to the rail, I like rode up to it, had a look and was like, nah, I'm good. Because we'd been there a few days before, just me, Cameron and Janda. And I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to hit it. Even at the jam, I was like, I'm not going to hit it. So yeah, it came to the jam and I said no. So I went down to the bottom of the stairs and went and found my place to like kind of watch from and just watch it all go down. So I was standing next to my good friend Stevie, aka Mr. Gucci Handbag. If you know him, you know. Tom Berry meme. That's his meme page, or his old meme page. I don't think that's a thing no more. We're also standing with Reese Jones, who, if you don't know, he's a legend in the Aussie scootering community, scootering scene. Probably just the scootering scene in general, not even Aussie. He's like a long time OG, has so many video parts out, edits. He's just been killing it for so long. And obviously him and Regan both run Syndicate, started Syndicate and Native. So this biggest of shout outs to Reese Jones. So especially in the years leading up to this, I started like, you know, discovering his riding more and watching his parts, and it was influencing my style a bit as well. So it was pretty cool just to be there with him, and he'd spoken to me throughout the day as well before that, so it was just a very cool moment. And he offered me a beer, which was very cool, because, you know, I'm getting offered a beer by someone I once looked up to riding a scooter. So yeah, obviously I took the beer, said thanks, and as I was sitting there watching all these tricks go down, having the beer, but as the tricks were going down on the rail and the beer was going down in my stomach, I was just getting more eager to go ride and do something on the rail as well with all these other people. But with the tricks being done at this point, I didn't want to just go up there and board slide it and, like, you know, just do a board slide, because that was already done like 20 minutes ago, you know. People are doing backflip whips, hurricanes, other stuff down it now. That's not just a board slide. So if I just go up and do a board slide, that's kind of, you know, no point. So I say to Stevie that I feel like doing something down the rail now, like I want to ride. I'm not going to do a board slide at this point. And this isn't word for word, but Stevie was kind of like, well, what else would you do then, you know? What would you want to do? So probably the only thing I would try on this that's not a board slide is a 5-0. And my thinking behind that is I'd 5-0'd a smaller skate park rail at Cooperoo a few days before. I was getting good at my 5-0s at this point. I was feeling comfortable with them. I didn't want to do a board slide. 5-0 is very much more impressive than a board slide. Just somehow in my head I just thought back 5-0. But then, like, before I had too long to even think about it after saying that, I think Stevie must have told me to like go suss a run up, and so I did. Within seconds I was just walking over the stairs to walk up there and go look at the run up, and then I think I had one or two like false run up, and then I ran up, jumped, didn't even like lock in the 5-0, didn't go for the 5-0 really, just jumped and like put my scooter over the rail, threw it, bailed, hit the floor, rolled, got up, was fine. Went back up, went to go for another run up, and then I think it was at that point, Regan Thompson, if you don't know Regan Thompson, once again another big OG in the game, also the other owner of Syndicate Native, he was on the megaphone, and he was down with Reese and Stevie as well in that area, and I believe he said, I think he's going for a 5-0, like on the megaphone in front of the crowd of, you know, 150, 200 scooter riders. I don't know how many exactly, but a lot of scooter riders. In my head I was like, I already knew I was kind of trying it, but that made it really hit like, fuck. Alright, I'm trying it now. I've got to try it here. I'm pretty sure the second shot I got a bit in the 5-0, went down a bit, slid out, I just pulled back too much. And then Guy Perry, who is this dreadlocked, no-shoed bike rider, nicest person you'll ever meet, is really friendly. I say that about a lot of people, but seriously, Guy Perry, very nice person, very genuine, earthly person, I would say. It's probably a good way to describe him. Good bike rider, brings the hype, brings the energy. Every time I would stack, he did this for every shot after this. He would run up, be like, yeah, pick me up, like help me get up, run me back up the stairs, and then be like, are you guys watching, whatever. So then I had a few more shots. One of them I 5-0'd, landed one foot and smacked my chin on the top of my bars. That was probably the closest one I got, or one of the closest. I think I got another foot in another attempt. So I'm pretty sure I had 5 attempts. And on the 5th attempt, this is the one where it went pretty bad, obviously, judging by the fact I only had 5. So the back of my deck didn't make it on top of the rail into the 5-0, so it kind of just like slid along the side of the rail, and then my deck cased on the 3rd stair. It's like the 3rd or 4th stair down, like from the 3rd or 4th stair from the bottom, and I just went forward straight onto my face, and I couldn't get my arms out in time, my hands, so I just slid on my face for a few meters, and then straight away I like turned around, sat up, put my hand up, was like, no, I can't do this, took my glasses off, had to make sure my face was okay, but it wasn't, I had a lot of bad grazes, my glasses luckily weren't broken. Bad grazes, this tooth was pushed right back and fractured. I didn't know it was fractured at the time, but it was pushed right back. So I couldn't eat for the rest of the trip, which was a bit shit. I'll get into that in a minute. So I just had all the grazes and that, and the grazes kind of, I don't know how much you can see, but that right there is a scar from that graze. And there's some more on this hand. So there's actually left scars that were pretty deep. It was one on my shoulder, forehead, somewhere on my face. I don't think the face one's left scars, but these shoulder and arms did. I didn't get concussed or anything, luckily. I'd say it was all worth it though, because I got $50 for stacking on my face, which I was actually running out of money for the trip, and we were there for another 3 days. So that $50, like, it came at a good time, and I needed it. And plus, since I bent my tooth back, I couldn't actually eat much at all. I could barely eat. So I saved a lot of money on food, so it's like, it's a win-win, you know? $50, can't eat, so save money on food. Count me in. But seriously, it was a bad time. Along with the $50, I also won a deck throughout the day and a pair of forks, which I ended up giving to Cameron to collect. And Janda ended up winning a pair of forks and a pair of wheels for himself. Basically, after I stacked, while I was sitting around, I was just cleaning myself up. I was spitting blood. Like, blood was just coming out my mouth, my nose, everywhere.
So fucking
And Saundesi, Kai Saundesi, if you know him, you know him. If you are a scooter rider who uses Instagram or watches YouTube, you should know him. He came up to me and we were talking. But imagine this, right? I had just stacked 14 stairs onto my face. I'm bleeding. And any other time I would want to sit there and talk to Saundesi, I'd be like, yes, this is fucking cool. But I barely knew what was... I knew what was happening, I could focus and everything, I wasn't concussed or out of it or anything. But I was sitting there talking to Saundesi, but trying to mainly focus on just my bleeding and feeling alright, not dehydrating, passing out, like, you know, trying to focus on that and stop, like, not feeling the pain and stuff. While sitting there talking to Saundesi, trying to seem all, you know, calm and collected. Like, it's cool I'm talking to him. Worst time to be talking to him. But, yeah, a very cool person. I've spoken to him again since, I think like once or twice, and he's just very cool. After that, I just went home. I went back to the hotel, had a shower, which was painful. And then, yeah, the next day we went to Syndicate store to collect all of our goodies. Get the deck, forks, wheels, forks, and I think Shuey bought a pair of wheels as well. But it was cool, we got to meet some of the guys there as well, some of the other Syndicate guys again, and not at the street jam this time, actually talk to them, which is very cool. They're all very nice guys, very just genuine. So yeah, I'd just like to shout out Syndicate store for hosting the street jams. They're doing another one this year. I think it's like 20th of November, but unfortunately I can't go because Victoria borders don't open to Queensland until like December something, so very shattered on that. But next one I can be at, I definitely will be at. So yeah. Actually, another little thing. Afterwards, I mentioned that my tooth was bent back and fractured, but after I got home, I had to go dentist, get my teeth all re-x-rayed and stuff because I was working on getting them kind of fixed anyway. So after that, I ended up needing to get that tooth removed that was fractured, and the one next to it had also been fucked a little bit from it, so I had to get that removed as well. And they just ended up taking out 4 because it would be easier to put with this plate. So now I have 4 false teeth at the front, so yeah, it just is what it is. So yeah, be careful when you're out there scooter riding, guys, and be safe, but don't let that scare you from trying tricks and living it up and having fun on your scooter. So that's what it's all about. Like, at the end of the day, I don't regret anything about the trip or hurting myself. Like, it was fun. It was fun, and it wasn't that bad. Like, I'm fine. I'm here. I was walking. I'm still walking. So I would recommend going on trips with your friends to other places that you aren't used to, aren't familiar with. It's a great experience always. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video and that story. If you have any questions about any part of the story, just drop it down in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you about that. If you liked it, leave a like so I know that you liked it. Subscribe if you're not already. And this is going to be the end of the video. So peace. I'll see you guys in the next one.